Terence Crawford beats Amir Khan easier than Canelo Alvarez. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I thought this was an interesting topic because this is one of the things about this fight, Crawford Khan. Although it ended in an anticlimactic way, it was something I was thinking about. And I told you guys this on the channel. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. This fight, stylistically, was interesting to me. I said I didn't know after the Canelo knockout how Amir Khan would look because he hasn't fought anyone as good as Canelo or at the elite level since the Canelo knockout. So, you know, it was a gamble, and he didn't look too great in his last fight with Samuel Vargas. And then he had 40 seconds worth of work versus Phil LaGreco, who I thought was retired and had a YouTube cooking channel. But stylistically, Khan said he was focused. He was mentally prepared. Physically, he looked like he was in good shape. So I was interested in the matchup. Again, it's unfortunate how it all played out. We didn't get a traditional ending. But the reason I'm making this particular video, because I think, again, it's an interesting subject, because what did impress me, again, I don't have the full traditional ending and the full range of rounds. It didn't end in a normal way, I guess you could say, because Amir Khan, some people are saying he quit. I think he quit. That's what it looked like. It looked like he was looking for a way out. Other people say, no, it was a low blow. Listen, first of all, let me just say this. The shot looked low. A little bit. It looked low. A little bit below the bell, or, you know, it was low, right? But I don't believe, you know, obviously I'm not in Khan's body, pause, but I don't think I've seen much worse. And I've seen Amir Khan endure physical, brute force punishment and still tried to compete. So you're not going to tell me that Amir Khan really felt he was in the fight and this happened. Like Marcos Maidana, see, I know boxing. Marcos Maidana fought Jose Cito Lopez and he almost got stopped by Jose Cito Lopez. A lot of people don't, like, they glaze over this because Jose Cito hit him in the thigh or something, and later on Maidana said his leg went numb, like he couldn't feel his leg, so he started taking, you know, he was focused on that pain, and he was on the ropes, and, you know, Jose Cito pouring it on and was hitting them with flush shots and shit. And then Maidana having power, he was able to turn it around, etc. Right? Muhammad Ali has fought with a broken jaw. I believe Paulie Malignaggi has fought with a broken jaw. Things like this. We've seen Amir Khan get hurt by Bradis Prescott, knocked down brutally, then try to get back up, get knocked down from Danny Garcia, and then try to get back up. He was on his feet in the Danny Garcia fight too. To me, this was different, which is why I'm making this video. To me, I believe that Amir Khan wanted no more parts because he was losing at the game he's normally successful with, and that's the boxing game. When he was with Canelo, and this is kind of why that we're doing and I know some people are going to get mad and try to hate and, you know, thumb down the video because of the title, but this is not for them. This is for the real boxing fans who want to have analytical conversations about boxing. The bottom line is what I seen was impressive. I'm not saying what Canelo did was not impressive, but this is more impressive, and I'm going to kind of break that down and tell you why. For one, they're about equal in size. You know, Khan looked maybe a hair bigger, a half-inch taller or something like that, versus, I told you, I made a video called is still on the channel, 7 reasons why Canelo and Khan shouldn't happen, because I thought that was a horrible fight. They even said on the ESPN pay-per-view that Virgil Hunter was against the fight, and, you know, for whatever reason, Khan wanted the fight. He liked the money and liked the deal from Golden Boy, and he couldn't get Mayweather or Pacquiao, those failed attempts at them, so he just, you know, got desperate and took it. But it's more impressive because Khan, you know, and I don't know how much the Canelo knockout took out of him, you know, because You know, I can't really decipher something like that. But if I'm just looking performance versus performance, this is interesting because he wasn't at like a catch weight of 155 with no rehydration clause. It didn't look like Crawford rehydrated to some ungodly amount, and Khan looked a little bit taller and stuff. They're about the same size. And I think the most intriguing stuff from what I seen, again, it didn't end like Canelo fight and punctuated like that, because to me, the reason it didn't end like that or get worse is because Khan found a way out, you know. And this is what they're talking about right here on Top Rank. Look at.
Down there, but people are saying Amir quit. Could you speak to the people that say that? Just direct it to them.
Yeah, I was never quit. I'd rather get hurt. You know, I'm one of the fighters. I'd rather get hurt in fights.
Bomac laughing.
I have been upset because I've tried to win fights. You didn't quit? Tell the truth. Nah, I quit. So what happened? What happened? I mean, I think I was hitting the low shot. I was hitting the low shot. Your leg? You quit? Get a shot in your leg? In the leg, in the ball. I mean, look. I'm not seeing the video or the clip of it. But it's a logo of it. It was low. You know what I mean? It probably was low. You know, alright, but calm down. But you know what? Y'all didn't feel the punch. If you guys think I quit, no problem. I'm never quit from a fight, but no, 100%. Look, it's a great fight.
So, you know, that's what people are kind of saying. Like he quit, and you know, some people are disputing it, things like that. But this is what was impressive about Crawford's performance. I think Amir Khan quit. You know, like look for the way out. See, I know boxing, and I could give you examples of this. You know, I don't want to make this video too long, but here's another example. Marcos Maidana versus Adrian Broner. It's a popular fight. Most of you guys have seen it. Similar thing happened. Adrian Broner got hurt early, knocked down like through the ropes and stuff, and Maidana was hurting him throughout the fight. Then there was this one fateful moment in one of the rounds after that where they're in a clinch, and then like Maidana went like this and headbutted Broner, and it looked like it hit him, and Broner was like, and then he went back like this, and then he fell on the ground and started rolling on the ground. To me, when I see fighters, when it looks like really dramatized and like an overreaction, it looks like, to me, it looked like Broner was trying to possibly get Maidana disqualified, because I can understand shit hurts, you know, but you look at guys and you look at the toughness, like Caleb Truax. He just got headbutt and it looked hard as fuck by Kid Chocolate, and his shit immediately started leaking and he was bleeding profusely. Badu Jack versus Marcus Brown, bleeding profusely. And I know different people have different thresholds for pain and whatnot, but these guys are like warriors. They do drills and train. A lot of these guys are warriors. So I feel like there's so many factors where you could kind of tell if somebody's looking like things aren't going so-and-so's way. Like even Mikey Garcia versus Orlando Salido, the reason why I didn't say he quit is because Mikey got his nose broken, so he probably couldn't breathe. You know, that's a little bit different than getting hit low. And trust me, every male has probably been kicked or hitting the balls, playing baseball or some shit. But it seemed like beyond that. Here's another thing. When this happens, you have 5 minutes to recover. So this whole dialogue between Virgil Hunter, that doesn't even make sense, because why were you having dialogue with Virgil and you have 5 minutes to, like, you know, figure out your situation? And before that time elapses, this conversation, and he's shaking his head like, no. That looks like a broken fighter. You know, I watched boxing since I was a kid. Eric Morales versus Pacquiao in the third fight, I want to say. And then Pacquiao, you know, knocked Eric Morales down. And he looks at his corner, and they must have said something like, do you want to continue? And Eric Morales was like, that's quitting. You know, in my book, that's quitting. Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard rematch. Quitting, no mas. So that's what it looked like to me. Because why would you not take the full 5 minutes, and then you're already having dialogue a minute and 20 seconds into the nut shot or whatever, and it's already, the plug is pulled before 5 minutes elapses. That's a lot of time to try to recover, shake it off, see how you feel. But you just know you're not feeling good enough without even burning through the 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then just say like, yo, this still hurts, I can't go on. So that, to me, it was a way out. It was an opportunity, a way out. It was low, and they took advantage of it. Virgil Hunter, seen that his fighter was, the tide wasn't, the ebb and flow wasn't going his way, and he communicated with the fighter, see the discouragement on his face, because there's another Virgil Hunter fight against Canelo, not the Khan fight, but Alfredo El Perro Angulo versus Canelo. And I remember Virgil Hunter was like, hey man, you getting hit with some shit, I'm gonna pull the plug, you want me to stop this? And then Angulo was like, no. Fighters will tell you, go watch that fight. I remember these fights off the top of my head. Canelo was piecing up Angulo from round 1, and then later in the fight, Virgil was seeing that his fighter was losing, and he was like, man, I'm about to stop this if you don't show me something. I'm gonna stop this. You want me to stop this? And Angulo was like, no, because he didn't want the fight to stop. Khan looked broken. He looked discouraged. So it is what it is. Top rank and still Terence Crawford defeats Amir Khan by TKO. Yeah, it wasn't a traditional ending, and that was unfortunate, but let's talk about it. The reason why I said that Crawford, his performance, he looked sharper than Canelo just based on this. One, he didn't have like this massive weight advantage. Who knows how much Canelo rehydrated to. And again, I'm not shitting because Khan knocked him out with one punch, but that's more to be expected when Khan had no business fighting at 155 with no rehydration clause. Notice Canelo, the A side, is fighting Daniel Jacobs, a guy who's bigger than him, and they put a rehydration clause. Please don't blame the IBF, because in unifications, the IBF has changed the rules. In unifications, there is no rehydration clause. So this was done by Canelo and Golden Boy because they know Daniel Jacobs is bigger. Obviously, they didn't have any quarrels or worries about Amir Khan being bigger than their fighter. There was no rehydration clause. So Canelo can come in comfortable, and Amir Khan would have to deal with, the size disadvantage, period. And I talked to Amir Khan way back then, and I got the tape. I have it saved on my hard drive. He says he tried to get the Canelo fight. He talked to Golden Boy, tried to get it at a catch weight, and they was like, nah. So the thing that was impressive, like I said, with this particular fight is Amir Khan got beat at his own game. That's why it was more impressive than the Canelo fight, because in the Canelo fight, I was in Vegas for that. I scored the first 4 rounds easy for Amir Khan. He was outboxing. Eesh. He was boxing using speed and movement in and out. Canelo was just trying to pick shots as he could, right? And he ended up slowing Khan down about the 5th fight, or the 5th round, and he started digging to the body. That started slowing Khan down more. And then obviously we seen what happened in the 6th round. He connected with a huge right hand, and it was lights out for Khan. But here, the thing that this is impressive with Terence Crawford is going into this fight, I told you it was a stylistic matchup. Khan's best chance of winning was to outbox Terence Crawford. From round 1, Crawford is supposed to be the guy that's a slow starter. Amir Khan has always been a fast starter, even when he was with Freddie Rhodes, if he's with Goosen, if he's with Virgil, no matter what, he's been pretty much known for a fast fighter, fast hands, stuff like that. Outbox guys. Watch his fight with Devin Alexander. He hit Devin Alexander early with like a crazy 5-punch combination, and it worked like bah bah bah. And Devin Alexander's head was just like bah bah bah, like a speed bag. Crawford, the first round was Khan's best round until he got knocked down. Then it automatically became a Crawford round. Like the only point you could give Crawford or Khan the round would be up until the knockdown. But then, just like that, that's all erased. And Virgil Hunter reamed Khan. He's like, I told you, what you doing? I told you to be cautious, blah, blah, blah. So Crawford was just kind of measuring him out and stuff like that. Khan made a lot of mistakes in there. Like, he was like pushing his punches and lunging in, and he seen how smart Crawford was. So that ring IQ, that was impressive. You know, similar to Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. People thought Errol Spence was just going to try to walk down and mow down the smaller Mikey Garcia who was moving up, that called out Errol, etc. But the thing that made that performance what it was is he, in essence, beat Mikey Garcia at what Mikey Garcia does to other guys and what Mikey Garcia was thought to have been better at. And then it was proven false. People thought Mikey was the one with the ring IQ, and Crawford and Spence had no head movement, no defense, and his only chance of winning was to, brutalize Mikey Garcia, and that was proven to be false. Same thing with Terence Crawford. I told you I would give Crawford a whole lot of credit if Terence Crawford were to outbox Amir Khan, and he mixed it up where you got a little bit of everything, but he outboxed. What was setting everything up was Crawford outboxing Amir Khan and then getting his power off. You get what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't just a situation of, he just went out there and pressured Khan and he was just the huge puncher and that's it. He was setting it up. There was moments in this fight, I think round 5, where he tripled up on the jab. Just very good boxing. Started off as an orthodox fighter, then he migrated and went southpaw, and he was still having luck no matter what stance he was in. Khan historically has done good with southpaws. Zab Judah, Luis Collazo, Devin Alexander, and that's just off the top of my head. I know he's fought more and more. And unlike Canelo, which obviously I'm comparing, Canelo had a weight advantage and still lost the first 4 rounds in my book. He had a weight advantage. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, Canelo is a great fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. But when I'm talking about like pure skill, Crawford is showing you elite level skill, and he's getting it done, not necessarily being the bigger guy like Jose Benavidez. Jeff Horn had to weigh. I was at that fight. He had to weigh in naked because he couldn't make weight, and he struggled in the Gary Corcoran weigh-in too, and he couldn't make weight. Crawford is coming in lean and trim, but it is skills that are paying the bills. Canelo has skills for sure, but he also had functional weight advantage over Amir Khan, and that's what then he knocked him out. Good skill fighter plus a weight advantage. We don't know. I didn't see the fight night weigh-in, but just from the eye test, it didn't look like he was significantly higher. Oh, this is the low blow. It was low, but like I said, we've seen, like, for example, Brandon Rios versus Anthony Peterson. Now that, if anybody should have quit from low blows, it would be a fight like that. See, you guys got to know your boxing. Or Cotto versus Zab Judah. I can understand that because that was like repeat offenses. Or Abner Mares versus Joseph Igbeko. This is why I feel like, because some of you guys get on here and get mad because Canelo's in the title and a black fighter like Crawford, and I'm comparing it and all this shit. But I'm telling you what I see in boxing, and I'm giving you several examples of fights where I can understand how low blows would influence a person, and these guys still continue. Joseph Igbeko still continued, and Abner Mares was hitting him deliberately low, it looked like. Anthony Peterson was hitting Brandon Rios deliberately low. Cotto was losing. People forget about this because Cotto beat Zab. But Zab Judah was doing good and looking sharp as shit early. And then Cotto was deliberately, old veteran trick, bow, 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 going low. And, he turned the tide with that because Zab is a person where people sometimes question his, mental and mentality and things like that when the going gets tough. And he was, let off his game, like mentally getting off his game, getting hit low so much. But before that, go watch that fight. He was doing better. That's not what we seen with the Khan fight. It was one single shot. You didn't take the full 5 minutes, and you are having conversation not even halfway through the 5-minute break that you're allowed, and you're talking to your trainer about stopping it. Even Andre Ward on the telecast was saying something a couple rounds before, like, hey, I know Virgil, he trained me, that's my godfather. I know Virgil, if it keeps going at this rate for Khan, he's gonna pull him out of there, because he's not gonna allow, one of his pupils to take more punishment than necessary. And then a couple rounds later, this is what we see. So to me, this was definitely a way out. And this became very impressive from Terence Crawford, because he took someone whose whole game is to use speed and outbox you, and nobody has dominated Khan at that game. I can't think of Marcos Maidana. He wasn't boxing anymore. He was brawling and chopping, and he has a lot of power. Danny Garcia, he had to walk through some fire in those first 2 rounds. He had a cut over his eyebrow, shit like that, to produce the left hook knockdown that turned the fight around for him. So I can't think of even Canelo. Canelo, in my book, he was down the first 4 rounds, easy. So this was a brilliant performance by Terence Crawford, and it's showcasing skills at the highest level. Another reason I'm making this fight video is to help educate the fans when we're talking about skill for skill, and people are like, oh, pound for pound list, and they see all these Lomachenkos and shit like that. Lomachenko just beat a guy who was 100-1 underdog, and mandatory. Okay, but he didn't do anything. Derry Matthews knocked out the same guy in 2012. Khan's been knocked out, but he's never been in a position where he was taking that many punches flush, because usually if he does get hit, he's getting hit with the punches that stop the fight. He looked like the fight got taken out of him, to be honest. Like, he was getting outboxed and hurt. It was like a combination beating, to the point where we never seen Khan in this position. Like I said, his MO is to box. He's a silver medalist. So when we talk about pound for pound, and why I have Crawford number 1, is the skills. People look at popularity and YouTube, like Instagram subscribe. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care how many Instagram followers. I'm talking about pound for pound. Like it says, guys, if you have this style that you have, and you were genetically engineered to move into this division, to be a welterweight, to be a middleweight, to be a light heavyweight, if we can genetically modify your skill set and put you in a heavyweight frame, what type of success would you be having in these different divisions? Crawford has elite level skills. Crawford has skills that had just been put on display with Amir Khan, and he's doing something to Khan. I get it, he's been stopped before, but he's not been stopped in that way, where he was dominated and then stopped. Marcos Maidana, he got knocked down by Amir Khan with a vicious body shot and almost didn't recover from that. So everybody else either lost to Khan, or they lost the boxing game to Khan. Even Canelo. And we know how good Canelo is. I'm not shitting on Canelo. I like Canelo, but that's a fact. The boxing game, at first, Canelo was losing until Khan, from keeping a bigger man off of him, started to fatigue, started to slow down and flatten out. Then Canelo was able to land some vicious body shots and ultimately the right hand that punch. Terence Crawford was losing round 1, and this is the thing that's amazing about Crawford. He was losing round 1. It wasn't like he was losing it crazy, but he was losing round 1. And I just said that Khan versus Maidana, and I just seen someone had showed that. Anyway, he was losing round 1. And then he just turned it around and made it a 10-8 round out of nowhere. This is impressive stuff, people, because you're seeing skills displayed at the highest level. It's the highest level of skills, like grandmaster shit, like you killed my brother Chan. Now you've been sworn to kill you. Like some Shaolin shit. Crawford's only getting better. He beat Khan at Khan's game. If he would have just went in there and bullied him, then that would be whatever. He beat him as a southpaw. He beat him as an orthodox fighter. Most importantly, he beat him as a boxer. Nobody's done that. Guys have trouble. Samuel Vargas knocked Khan down and stuff, but he also got knocked down too. You know, name one fighter. You know, Devin Alexander lost most rounds. You know, Luis Collazo got knocked down 3 times. Khan's been in there with some good names. Canelo, yeah, he knocked him out brutally, but guess what? He lost the first 4 rounds easy. Danny Garcia, it was half and half. Khan definitely won the first 2 rounds, and then he lost round 3 and 4 because he got knocked down. So we've seen guys use brute force to get Khan up out of there. But Terence Crawford, he's a next level competitor. He took to me, what I seen, he quit, Khan quit, and the fight was taken up out of him. The fight was taken up out of him. He didn't even, because, and see, it makes sense what I'm saying, if you really think about it. I like her hair right there. What makes sense, what I'm saying, is because of the simple fact of this. We've never seen Khan quit before. He's always showed a massive heart, get knocked down, get hurt. What he was experiencing tonight, it makes sense why it's the first time we've seen him quit, because he was losing at the very thing that he's good at. That's what, to me, you know, if I was the fighter, that's what would have me shook. That's what would rattle my confidence. If I knew I didn't have a chin and someone just caught me with a huge shot, that's cool. You can convince yourself why that happened. Like, oh man, Canelo weighs 183 and any guy would have been put down by that shot and he connected it. So cool. Or, you know, Danny Garcia, he got heavy hands at 140. He caught me good with the left hook. So it's a justifiable reason because that's what has always plagued Khan. But the reason why the fight was taken out of him in this situation, to me, is because this was something new. He's getting outboxed and getting hurt. And it's all courtesy of your boy Bud. That's the difference. Bud took him out of all of his games. Okay, the power game, you know, the only person touched canvas was Khan. But the boxing game, Bud dominated that too. Same thing with Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence. You know, obviously Spence versus Errol is a good fight. I mean, Spence versus Crawford, excuse me. But it's the same thing. Mikey Garcia had no answers because he's getting beat at his own game. You know, if it's just some reckless brawler with no intelligence, Mikey picks that off all day. You know, that wop, wop, bop, bop, 1-2. Mikey's real good with that. But see, what's happening is we're starting to see a shift and we're starting to see elite level skill. And people stop telling me about this low blow. I get it. It was low. But that's not why he quit, bro. Khan has been mortally wounded to the point where he is out of his senses and he still kept trying to fight. So you mean to tell me this one shot that doesn't, he said he got hit in the nuts, was that I don't know what person's nuts is on the pelvic bone and shit. So if anything, I don't see that. I don't know nobody whose nuts is right there in a little holster. This is the shot. He looked for a way out. I'm telling y'all, people, because we've seen Khan endure vicious punishment and he still kept trying. And then you mean to tell me this is what took him out of the game, where he couldn't even wait for the 5 minute? And real talk, if you actually know shit about boxing, which a lot of y'all don't, is Khan doesn't have an inside game, just like Kovalev, just like Christina Hammer when she just fought Clarissa Shields. So you guys have to know how to break this game down. Khan don't really have an inside game. He has lengthy arms. He likes to move. You know, he likes to speed, and he kind of pushes in and lunges in with his shots, etc. Right? He doesn't know what to do on the inside. He was pulling Crawford's head down. So you're setting yourself up basically to get hit low. If I'm pushing someone's head down and they're trying to get work off, then yeah, it's going to move the trajectory. As you can see right here on the screen, look at where his other hand is. That's when he's getting hit. It's because he's pulling his head down. You can't pull someone's head down and expect to get hit right on the belt line or higher, you know, right on the money. So the bottom line, you guys can say whatever you want, but to me, like, look at his face right here. He looks discouraged. He looked like he didn't want. Terence Crawford is a soul stealer. Same thing with Felix Diaz. I try to tell y'all, Crawford is a beast. He's a motherfucker, because Felix Diaz is an Olympic gold medalist. He looked so discouraged. He didn't even know what to do in there. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even know what he wanted to do. See, look, if someone else said, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Like, look at him in the corner. So, yeah, this Canelo did his thing, but Canelo, if anything, used more brute force here. Terence Crawford had to get it done equal size with pure skill. I mean, he has power too, don't get that twisted. You know, but I can't believe this is what stopped the fight. I think what stopped the fight was he was getting beat, and you know, how you gonna, why would you want to continue if you're losing at all games? You get what I'm saying? Like, so you know the end's near, you might get knocked out if it keeps going like this, and you can't outbox him, and that's what you're known for. That's the ultimate mind fuck. You can't do anything you want to do. You're used to guys, if they have a big enough punch, maybe putting you down, and you got to battle through that. But what Khan wasn't used to is somebody who's actually better than him boxing. And I think that's what we had. And rightfully so, because Khan's a silver medalist. You know, he's at world-class sparring with Pacquiao, and he never looked like this. There's nobody that I can think of that in the boxing versus boxing, was outboxing him. Devin Alexander can box, and he lost like mostly all the rounds. Collazo can box and brawl and mix it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He's like kind of a brawler, right? He's losing most of the rounds. Khan got beat by a sharper boxer because Crawford wasn't here for the games, and he'll make you pay. Like Floyd always say, if you make a mistake, you gotta pay. And Khan wasn't used to that, because usually he can make these same mistakes, but if the ring IQ is not necessarily there, or the reflex, Crawford got fast reflexes too. If that stuff is not apparent, and then plus punching power, right, then Khan could get away with some of this stuff. You know, like Danny Garcia hits hard, but he don't have the timing. Well, he has timing. He don't have the fast twitch muscles and quick reflexes like a guy like Crawford, because he's not like overtly flashy, or he's a good fighter, but he's not like Roy Jones speed, blinding speed. Crawford's just a complete fighter. He just has a little bit of everything, and enough to make Amir Khan want no mas. So this was impressive because, like I said, I don't think it had nothing to do with anything else, but Crawford put Khan in a position where he was hurt. He was getting battered. They seen the end was probably near. And that's the thing. Amir Khan's not really a puncher where he can come from behind like that and then just switch everything around. I drew a map to show. Oh, wow. See, look, someone, the internet got no chill. Someone said I drew a map to show his ball. See, that's what I'm saying. Look, someone drew his member and they drew it all the way to the side. See, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't even, see, that's funny that somebody took the time. I never seen this, but that's funny. They drew his nuts a little bit. This is a live reaction. I never seen this shit. They drew his Johnson pause. Wow. That's what I'm saying. Amir Khan know he didn't get hit. And look at where the gloves at. You know? Look at the dude in the crowd right here. He like, look at him. That man. So, yeah, I think that's why Khan was like, you know, he had to do what he had to do, between him and Virgil. But look, Khan's not he's not used to getting beat at both games. He might get beat at the pressure power puncher game. He's not used to getting beat at the boxing game. Crawford is just he's in a league of his own right now. You know, he's at the top of his class. You know, he's doing well. See, look, these are the scores. Who do they have? FC 10-8 rounds, 10-8 round, huh? Look, 49-45, 50-44, 49-45. So at the time of the stoppage, ain't one judge had it for Khan. They didn't give him no rounds. See, this is what I'm saying, bro. Told you. So So yeah, I think that's what it was. Khan wasn't used to getting beat. Therefore, this is an epic display of, even though it ended fucked up, epic display of skills, because even Canelo, who we know has skills, don't get it twisted. It's not like I'm dissing Canelo. We know Canelo has skills, but Canelo, being a bigger man, didn't even do this. That's impressive. Canelo, Amir Khan estimates that Canelo was weighing 183, 185. Crawford didn't have to do all that. You know, it's similar to, you guys have to understand boxing. This is why ESPN needs to stop with this power shit. They keep getting power happy, talking about power. Boxing is and always has been skills pay the bills. Now, if you got power and skills, you're winning. But it's not just about some power bullshit, because a lot of guys have power, but they don't have skill to deliver it, right? The thing is this. You look at Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo, he dominated. Floyd is a lot smaller than Golovkin, and Floyd dominated Gennady Golovkin. Meanwhile, Gennady Golovkin had two chances to beat Canelo and never beat him. Draw and a loss. Floyd was able, as a smaller person, to push back Canelo when he was undefeated. Golovkin struggled to push him back and was just jabbing. That's how we know we're dealing with elite level skills, because you don't have to be way bigger. Like Canelo was way bigger than Khan and produced that result. Crawford didn't have to be way bigger and still got the job done. And like I said, in my opinion, he really beat the fight out of Khan, where Khan didn't even want. You know, he knew it was hopeless, so he just first, oh shit, okay, cool, I got low blow. You know, instead of taking the 5 minutes, we out. You know, Kell Brooks said the same thing. So let me know what you guys think. That's my assessment. I wanted to give you guys some more, because I know the fight ended funky, so I wanted to use what we had to look at, which, you know, unintentional low blow TKO, and give me my assessment. Even from watching that, I'm still impressed, because the sharpness of Crawford beating Khan at totally his game, the game that Khan has beaten guys with, speed and like boxing, doing good with southpaw. He had none of that success. He wasn't good when he was in southpaw position, wasn't good when he was in orthodox, got dropped. You know, we're talking about a complete fighter. Let me know what you guys think. Terence Crawford's the man. You know, him and Spence, 1A and 1B, however you want to have it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.